I'm getting ready and then we get into the topic. Hello everyone. Cheers. I will remove my mint. So I have moved here to Berlin. It will be 2 years in November. Starting from the beginning, I have moved in 2021. This job that I got was based in Berlin, and I decided that if they would say yes to me, I would take my everything, my little life, and move here. And that's what I actually did. Before, I would have never imagined moving, and I did. It was very empowering, but you have to know a few things here. So first I wanted to know where I could get a flat from, and I checked out a few videos on YouTube and I found out about the districts and how they are. I will link it in the description so you can check it out if you're interested. Finding a flat here is not so easy. I was very lucky because one of my colleagues were leaving and I could take the flat from them, and I was there for 3 months until I got my next apartment, which is my current apartment here. You have to think in advance if you want to move here in terms of flat, but it's easier to find something if you're already here. So if you have any friend groups, connections, or an actual company, I actually asked through the company if there's any flats that could be used for my sake. This company was super nice to me. They gave me a list of what I needed, and the first thing you need is an Anmeldung. So you need a registered flat for tax purposes. You have to find it the first 6 months you move here, and after it you will be categorized in the worst tax category, so it's very advisable to find a flat. The registration is a little bit of a hustle, the Anmeldung. If I wanted to register myself now, I would get the next appointment from 1 to 3 months later because the registries are very full here. But I actually got this little tip which you could use as well. If you go into the online registration where you can get the appointments, the registrations that are already there and that last minute say that they are not coming, they are set free. So usually they are the very early appointments, and that's how I got mine, basically to that exact day. So I woke up one day at 3 o'clock. Sometimes I wake up very early or just for the middle of the night something, and I was like, oh, this is my chance. And I found 3 hours later the appointment was 8 o'clock, and I basically didn't even go back to sleep. And then came the bank, and there are a lot of options, but I went with N26, which is an online bank. It's super easy to use. I didn't have to go into a bank. The verification was online and everything was super easy. Language. So for language, I never knew a word in German, but I, from the get-go, decided that if I'm moving here, I want to learn German for sure, because the culture, the talking to anyone is way better if you speak the language. However, you for sure can, and I know some people who have been living here for years and years and never learned it. I do not advise this, but it's manageable as well. There's a lot of internationals in Berlin as well. So the first time I bought a monthly ticket, I was asking how I can get it out from the automat, and the woman that I was talking to was actually from Russia, and she was writing it into Translate, so it was super funny to you know, I was expecting that everyone will be German, and it's not the case in Berlin at all. It is also good if you get German phone number. I went with Vodafone, and then when I moved to this next apartment, I also needed a Wi-Fi, so that was in Vodafone as well. So it was 3 months later. You can definitely survive without your phone switched super fast, so that's fine. So let's get into how it felt. I came in the middle of winter. I came in November, so it was super cold. But it gets the coldest in Berlin is January, February, usually. And so everyone was like, yeah, it's cold, but it will be colder. And I was like, oh my God, even colder than this. If you don't have a good coat, you freeze. Well, I freeze because I'm very sensitive to cold. People were super friendly here, even though they say that compared to other parts of Germany, Berliners are a little bit colder or not so nice. I've never went to another part, but they must be super nice on the other parts, but they are nice here too. But I think it depends on how you are to them. I'm super friendly usually. The culture, so in Berlin there is so much art and culture and the opera and museums, so much to see. So if you are into music, clubs or anything, it's full of that, full of culture basically. So you can really find your bars or museums or whatever you are into. Transportation. So transportation is super, super nice. Now you have the Deutschland card, which is if you have a yearly pass, you can go 45 euros per month anywhere, which is super convenient. Public transport takes you everywhere. It's not necessary to have a car here. If you want to do something with a car, you can just rent with the car rental apps. It's easy to borrow bikes, which I actually started this year. It was 25 euros per month. You can also buy bikes very easily. The bike lanes are super nice. I like it. Compared to Budapest, it's way nicer. But I also talked to a friend from Belgium. Compared to their bicycle route system, you know, it's way less evolved. But, you know, it depends on what you compare it to. I really like biking around here. And also Berlin is flat, so it's easy to get around. It's not very steep from anywhere, and it's a good exercise as well. If you leave your bike anywhere, don't leave it for a very long time or without a good lock. Getting a job here is a lot of paperwork for the company you will work for. They will need a lot of information from you, and you pay a lot of taxes basically, but also you can get tax returns, and especially in the first year of your stay you can reclaim quite a lot from your tax. Making friends. So when you get out to a completely new country, don't expect to have the same routine as when you left your old country where you used to live for 20 years. If you are friendly to people and you go around half a year, you start to form your friend groups. And until then, just be patient. Where I made my friends, for example, were German lessons. There's a lot of other people who are also taking their time to learn German, so it was a super nice way to bond with them. And my plans in the future is that if I get to know German enough, I can already start going into friend groups where I can speak in German. So you need the language if you want to, you know, get in the German-speaking friend groups more. But you can definitely do it if you are learning the language ASAP, or you can also start learning before you move here. Food and cultural stuff, you find food from everywhere. So Vietnamese food, Indian food, Turkish, everything. And they bring their good cooks here, so you can really taste very nice food. For example, a week ago I went with friends to an Ethiopian restaurant and I tried their food. So it was super interesting because I've never tried that before, for example. So you can really try new things. Berlin has 3.6 million people that live here. So it's a big city. It's like being in a different city, every district. So it's super interesting to see that. I really like it here, actually. As I already said in the other video, the shops are closed on Sunday because they want people to relax on Sunday. So on Sunday you go to walk in the park with your friends, or you go to a museum, or you go to a restaurant. So restaurants are open, but clothes stores and grocery stores are not. So be aware of it. It takes about an hour to get into the city from the airport, and it is 40 minutes by taxi, and it's 50 euros, or even it can also be even more sometimes. I really think that if you decide to move to Berlin, that is a good idea. I really love it here. People are nice here. You have a lot of culture and everything, so don't hesitate. Have a lovely day wherever you are. See you in my next video. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe. If you subscribed, then leave a comment that you did.